You're listening to The Monetized Mom, the podcast that teaches moms of faith how to monetize their expertise online to create influence, impact, income, and more importantly, financial independence. I'm your host, Flo Alexander. Let's chat. Hey, Money Mamas. Welcome to the Monetized Mom podcast. I'm your host, Flo Alexander, and in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about how to know if you have a skill or an expertise that can be monetized. If you're interested in learning more, stay tuned. Now, before I get started, I want to share a free resource with you. The Monetized Mom Master Playbook is my 4-part framework for turning your expertise into a profitable online business. And yes, you heard right, it's free. You can grab it now at themonetizedmom.com/freebie. Again, that's themonetizedmom.com/freebie. Now let's get on with this episode. So one question that I tend to get is, hey, I do this is my career, or this is my hobby. I'm not sure if I can monetize this. So I wanted to address that and give you 4 kind of questions or things to run your skill or expertise by to determine whether or not it can be monetized online. So I'm going to hop right into those 4 things. So number 1, you have to ask yourself, is there a market demand for your knowledge or your skill set? Is there even a demand for what you have an expertise in? Like if you do, I've heard this before, like underwater knitting, which I don't really think is a thing. Like, is that really a market? Is there really a market out there for that? So you have to figure out, is there a market and demand for the service or the skill or expertise that you have? And the way that you can determine that is, 1, first by seeing if there is already a service or product that exists that serves that particular expertise or serves the audience that would need that expertise. So does a product exist? Does a service already exist? A quick way to find out in today's world in the online space is to do a search via hashtags or do a keyword search on like Instagram. And usually most people who are in a specific field will have a title that's pertaining to their expertise on their social media profile. So for instance, if you go to the Monetized Mom on Instagram, shameless plug, it's going to say business coach for moms. And so if that were your expertise, you could type that into Instagram and see if other people exist that have that same skill set and if they're offering services around that. So that's a quick way that you can determine whether or not a service already exists or if there is a market for it because people are already in that market. The second way that you can determine if you have a demand for it is if people are asking for it. And I think we overlook that sometimes when people may ask us stuff in passing. But if someone is asking you this more than once or multiple people are asking you about something pertaining to your expertise, then there is a demand. They aren't the only ones. So ask yourself, are people already asking me about this? Are they already asking for help? If so, it's likely that there is a bigger market that exists for your skill or your expertise. So first things first, determine if there is a market and demand for your knowledge or your skill set. The second thing is you need to identify if you can package your knowledge into a repeatable process or a framework. So people will pay to accelerate themselves from point A to point B. So think about when you hire a trainer, the whole purpose is for you to pay someone to help you get from where you currently are physically to where you want to be. So ask yourself, do you have a framework or a process that can help people get their transformation that they want? If so, it can be monetized. Now, that's assuming that there is a market or a demand for it. But if you have a framework or a process that brings about transformation in a market that has demand, then you can definitely monetize your skills and expertise. So the third thing is you have to ask yourself, can you use this skill or this expertise to provide a service to someone else? Can your skills and knowledge be packaged into a service that you can provide for others? It can be a done for you service or a done with you service. So think about things like consulting. Think about skills and services like graphic design, virtual assistant, web design. Those are skills and expertise that can be packaged into a service that you can render to someone else in exchange for pay. So if your expertise can be packaged into a service, then it can be monetized. And the last thing that you need to understand is, are you able to provide repeatable and consistent results for other people? You have to be able to provide results. The proof is in the pudding. Real results are repeatable. That means that you're able to validate your framework or your process, whatever it is, and show that you can get those results over and over again. If you can do that, then that's something that can be monetized. So if you are a fitness instructor and you have a workout regimen and maybe a diet plan that consistently helps postpartum moms lose 30 pounds, then you have something that you can monetize because you have proven that you can provide repeatable and consistent results that provide transformation for people. So if you can do that, it's very likely that you are able to monetize your expertise. So if you can answer yes to just about all of these questions, especially number one, is there a demand? First and foremost, there has to be a demand. Then you can absolutely monetize your expertise online. So this was a quick episode, but as always, if you found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. And with that, I'll talk to you in the next episode.